going on YouTube? Eeyorian here. Today we're going to talk about Oculus Rift sensor mounting techniques. I've got a couple great ones for you that I've tried out and that have worked very well for me, and hopefully you can make use of those. In addition, I've got all sorts of other videos lined up, and I mean all sorts of videos. Everything from this green screen technique and how I set that up and what products I use, to the VR computer build that I did and what parts I used and how that's been working. So let's get started on sensor mounting and check in again for all the other videos. Alright guys, let's get started. So the first mounting option I've got here is for mounting it on a bar, like one of those ones that you see that runs from the floor to the ceiling, that's pressure fit there. Or you could put it onto like a light stand if you're doing YouTube and you have light stands sitting around. This is the Graffiti Noodle heavy duty bike bar clamp, as in heavy enough to mount your phone or a camera onto your bike while you're riding around, which means that with these lightweight Oculus sensors, this will have no problem whatsoever, and that's why I chose it after reading the reviews of cheaper ones that said that they were too flimsy. Now this one opens up to about 1.25 inches wide maximum, and all you have to do is turn this little knob here and adjust it open or closed. When it's open at its widest, this is just wide enough that it would slide over the end of an Oculus sensor. Okay, so it's about 1.25 inches. It will not fit on an Oculus sensor going this way, so if your bar is thicker than an Oculus sensor, you're going to have an issue, unless you can fit it over the end, but otherwise you should be fine. And you can just check your bar. That's a pretty wide bar though. To be wider than your Oculus sensor, it would have to be a substantially large bar. So you should be fine. What I like about this one is the ease of use. I like that it has rubber pads in here, so it's not going to mar the surface of whatever you're attaching it to. And also at this end you have a ball that can move around, and it's also got striations on it. And those striations are great because when you lock this thing down, it's not going anywhere. It's not like a cheap smooth ball that's going to lose its grip. This is really going to hold well. Not that you need it to hold all that well for a sensor because they're so lightweight. It wouldn't be an issue. But anyway, for a couple dollars more than the cheapos, the heavy duty Graffiti Noodle clamp is the one to go with. Now, let's talk about the one for the ceiling that I did. So here is my ceiling mounted sensor. You can see I have a plate, and in the middle of the plate there's actually a hole here that the cord goes up through, and then that runs through the ceiling and down to another plate over by the computer where it comes back out. The sensor is adjustable. It can move around. It has the freedom and space to move around any direction, up or down, different angles, that sort of thing. So let's take a look at how I did that. The way I mounted the sensor to the ceiling was using a light switch plate like this one. These are this is a plastic one, very inexpensive. The one that I mounted to my ceiling for the sensor itself is actually a stainless steel light switch plate. Then what I did is I drilled out one of the existing holes to be the size of this hanger bolt, so that it would screw up through this way. So the coarse end would go up into the drywall and hold this solid there. As it hits the second type of thread, the finer thread, that will stop turning and it will hold it, the plate up to the ceiling, and then the sensor screws on to the bottom of the bolt. The hanger bolt itself, I got this at home, both of these at Home Depot. This is a 1/4 inch 20 thread by 3 inches long. I went with 3 for the extra clearance to be sure I could angle the sensor in whatever direction I needed to. So that's it for now, guys. That is a way to mount your sensors around the room, and also a way to mount them on the ceiling. Personally, what I found is that the two front sensors should just be on their stands that they came with. That way I can move it around the room, try out different arrangements, and also that makes it portable if I ever wanted to take the whole rig on the road with me. The one that's in the ceiling is permanent. I don't want to remove that one, and if I wanted to do room scale on the road, I would just get another sensor and take that with me. And then I'd probably use 4 in my room scale setup at home when I wanted to. Thanks for watching, and check out the other videos as they come. Thank you.